Hey everyone, welcome back to Love, Food and Fitness. I'm your host Archana Kumar, back again with a new episode, a new guest. So today's guest is someone I haven't known for very long, but whose story has actually stayed with me. When I was getting to know about Deepa Kulkarni, the guest of today, trying to figure out how to shape up this conversation, I kept thinking this is a woman who's lived several lifetimes in one. She's experienced loss that most of us can't imagine. She's battled health challenges that would knock anyone down. And somehow, she's also published recipes in cookbooks, volunteers with children, writes articles, and according to everyone who knows her, makes the best traditional Madhva Brahmin food. And lately, I've also come to know she's also started doing some modeling for friends in saris, which we'll just come to know more about. So I'm curious about how all these pieces are fitting into her life. I'm sure you'll also be very curious to know how does someone go through all of that and still choose to cook, to write, and to show up. So naming to today's episode on Deepa's life, finding flavor in life's recipes. So welcome to the show, Deepa. I'm
Hi.
so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me in the show, and I'm very happy to be here too because I love to talk, and I love to talk about myself at times, not always. So it'll be nice to see where this conversation leads us.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with some good stuff. Your love for handlooms, and you're wearing such a beautiful sari.
Thank you.
Where is this love coming from?
So I think my mom loves handlooms, and my dad used to be a banker who funded a lot of these small scale industries, and handlooms were part of the small scale industry. So my mom has been collecting handlooms for a very long time. And somewhere that percolated to me because even when I was in college, when you're trying out different modes of fashion, right?
Absolutely.
I would always steer towards the natural made fabrics, cottons and silks, but those were hand woven. And then I would get them stitched according to my taste. So handlooms probably have always been a part of my life. So I cannot imagine a life without me having a set of handloom saris or collecting handlooms. And also when I was in the US for a few years, obviously, for 14 years, handloom was not a part of my wardrobe unless I went to an Indian event. So once I came back and moved back to India, it just so happened that handloom again became an important and natural part of my wardrobe. So I cannot imagine my life without handloom.
It is beautiful, and I think in the last episode also we were talking about it with Shampa that our weavers and artisans actually need this push.
Exactly.
All promote the hand woven things. So it's so beautiful, and this is looking so beautiful also.
Yeah, so I picked it up ages ago, around 10 years back, from a weaver from Bihar in Dastkar. And not just that, I think, it's what happens is it's actually, if you look at it, it's an art piece. It's been woven by a person with passion. And so when you wear it, you feel connected to the weaver, right? Yeah, so that's what makes handloom special for me, because it's not something that's come out of a machine.
And I think India has got a lot of different weaves and different things to offer. Different designs, different
absolutely,
different colors, different shades. I don't know what not.
And every state has its own beautiful things. And even the ikkats, for example, you have ikkats from Gujarat, you have ikkats from Odisha, and you have ikkats in Pochampally is also kind of ikkat.
Oh, so it's like, I didn't know that. I know ikkat, but I didn't know they belong to different states.
So so the Pochampally is from Andhra Pradesh, the Sambalpuri ikkat is from Odisha, and the patolas are from Gujarat. Okay. So so you have, so it's very different, like how different things are made. And the weaving techniques are also different. So you can tell them apart that this is from Gujarat and this is from Andhra Pradesh and this is from Sambalpuri.
People who know it can make of it. But I can just say it's a beautiful sari. That's all I can say.
No, when you pay attention to it, you would be able to recognize it. Yes, yes. So handlooms and me are like, I think we have a long-term relationship. Let me just say that.
Is that? Also, tell me about the Madhva Brahmin food. What is this? I really don't know much about it. And where did the love for cooking actually came from? Again, from my mom?
So my mom is, she loved cooking, but obviously you would not get all the ingredients for Madhva cooking wherever we stayed, because we stayed in different parts of the country. But every time we went back to the south, we would go to the temples and the mathas, and when we had prasad there, eating on the banana leaf was an experience that I always savored, right? And even the picky eater that I was there, I would actually literally eat everything.
This belongs to which state?
So it's from Madhwas are a community of Brahmins from Karnataka.
Okay.
Some of them are also in Maharashtra, and some of them are also in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu.
All right.
So the common ties that bind us together is a devotion to Vishnu, and we consider Vishnu to be supreme. And actually, food is a very integral part of all Madhva celebrations. So what happens is, like, food is cooked in a specific way. It's cooked on a wood fire, and you have to wear wet clothes, don wet clothes, and cook in a certain way, chanting mantras, etc. While the, like, it's a whole different experience. And then it's offered to God first, and then served to all of us. So the process of 𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗵, the process of cooking, right from the process of chopping vegetables to cooking to serving, is considered an act of service to God. It's a form of worship. And so most of the Udupi restaurants too that you see around are either owned by Kamats, who are also from that region, but they're not Madhvas. But a lot of them in Bombay are actually owned by Madhva Brahmins. So you'll have the Bhatts, and you'll have a lot of other people from the last names, Raos and all, who cook this kind of food and they serve it to people. So it's very unique. It's very different. And it's underhyped. Not many people know about it.
That's so beautiful.
So I want to bring it to the world. Bring attention of the world to Madhva cuisine.
You also mentioned to me when we were speaking that you're like descendants of Bhim, if I'm not wrong.
Not us, but our founder was one of the avatars of Hanuman, then Bhima, and then it's Madhvacharya. So we consider him to be a descendant of Bhima. So that's why food is a very integral part of Madhva culture, because Bhima was a Nalapaka, means he remember in one of the Agyatwasas, I think
when the Pandavas were there.
So he was
he became a cook.
He became a cook. So that's how. And interestingly, he has mentioned in Jaya, Devdutt Patnaik, that avial was actually a concoction that Bhima made. Yes.
So whatever was available, he made that.
He made that, and he made the dish, and that's how avial came into existence. So so that's how
So apart from the food, you also deriving strength from the Bhim.
Yes, the Bhim. And it's so everything is very sattvic. Most of the food that is obviously the food cooked in temple is very sattvic, and you have a lot of taboos in terms of what you can eat and what you cannot, what you can serve there and what you cannot serve there. So a lot of the foods are taboo.
They also say, when you're making food, the kind of mental state you are in at that point of time also affects the taste of the food.
Absolutely.
So when you're saying you're chanting mantras and you're wearing wet clothes, I think you're just making, some soulful dish.
It is very soulful. That's why Udupi temple, when people go to the Udupi temple, when they have the prasad over there, or any of the temples in that part of Karnataka, like the Dharmasthala temple and all, people just come back feeling so satisfied after a meal. Heavy, but at the same time, it's not heavy in a sort of a decadent way, but in a very soulful way. So people love that.
Kind of like my mom says, tripti ho gayi.
Atma tript, jo bolte hain, Atma tript. Yes, exactly. That kind of meal. Yes.
So talking about tripti and different words, I think you know how many languages?
So I can speak English, Hindi, obviously, and Kannada well. I speak Telugu decently, and I can understand and speak a little bit of. I understand Tamil fully, but I can speak it sparingly.
So 5 languages.
Then I can understand Marathi very well. But when I try to speak, I cannot. I just get jumbled up. But I can understand Marathi fully.
Wow.
And Bengali, I can speak because I lived in Cal for a little while, so I can speak Bengali, but very broken now because I've lost touch.
So I knew about 5. Now I think we landed up to 7 or 8.
Yeah, I didn't tell you. Yeah, so I do speak with my my broken Bengali with the maids, and they make a joke out of it because I obviously make a lot of mistakes, but I don't care. It's just that I want to communicate with them in the language that they are comfortable.
They're comfortable with.
Yes,
And it makes a difference. You know,
It
I
makes
think
a
you
difference.
break the ice when you speak to somebody in their language, or probably in some religious terms also, which they believe in. I think you just break the ice and conversation becomes very easy.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's something like that, I guess. Someone speaks to me in Kannada or Telugu, like I hear someone speaking Telugu or Kannada somewhere in Delhi, and my ears perk up, and I get so excited, and I go and try and make a conversation with them, because you're meeting someone from your part of the world, so that's also a very exciting feeling.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. But we'll have to kind of talk about something that's why I started with something light before. But going back to the year 2000, when you actually became a mom for the first time.
I lost my son in 2000. I became a mom in 1996.
96. So going back to that time period, I think that must have been, I can't even describe it in words. I think the most, I don't want any parent to probably go through that thing, that you lost your child at such a young age. What happened then?
He had cancer. So he got diagnosed with cancer when he was 2 years and 3 months old. He went through the entire gamut of treatments that we could, but unfortunately the form of cancer that he had gets diagnosed very late. It's already in stage 4 by the time he gets diagnosed. So it's very hard for it to be cured, because once it gets into the bones, any cancer is a little harder to cure. So we tried everything because we wanted to, but once the treatment got completed, it came back within 3 months. It had never really gone into remission. So once the treatment stopped, there's not much you can do, because cancer drugs themselves are chemos, and he was a toddler, right? So you cannot use very strong doses on a toddler. Plus, if he managed to live, the chemo doses themselves are carcinogens, so they affect the lungs and the other body organs.
Absolutely.
So there's not much chance we could take. So once he got diagnosed as being terminally ill, we decided to get him home and keep him home, because he hated hospitals. So we made our life as easy for him as possible. He had a morphine pump for pain. Every time the pain was really high, if you gave him a shot of morphine, he would not feel the pain much.
Did he ask you, Mom, what's happening?
He was very young, but he knew what. He was only 2, he was 3. And you could see the fear in his eyes, and he became more reciprocative, he's reciprocated all our gestures a lot more, but he also became very good about, Mom, I want to give you a hug, by vocally voicing his emotions and feelings as best as a 3-year-old could. And in hindsight, we gave him the best possible life.
Sure.
He was very emotionally nourished. He had a very good quality of life. Despite the pain, the emotional aspect of his life was very well taken care of. Plus, he was in the US. So he got a lot of help in terms of, the kind of support, not just the treatment, but, overall, they have people who come and help play with you, and they have people who come and meet you, and they have, make a wish, you make a wish, and they come and fulfill your wishes and things like that. And also, he had the best access to pain management, which is still not there in India in terms of, and we didn't have to pay anything because we had insurance, right? So that aspect of his life, and we took him out everywhere we could, because everything is so hygienic over there. So we took him to Taco Bell, we took him to parks, we took him everywhere. And he would joke about the line that he had, and he'd say, you know what? You guys have to be careful with me when you're playing, because I have a line here. He would tell his friends. So he himself was a saint. I think he was very young, but I felt that he was a saint, because the stoicness with which he actually took his entire treatment was to be seen, to be believed. So
okay, then good people, God also needs them. So he calls them back fast.
Exactly. And this is something a friend said too, that, the first time I saw him, I knew he was an angel.
Wow.
And I knew his time here would not be very long. And she saw him when she was about a year old, and he was perfectly fine then. But she told this to us after Praveer passed away. also I met the nicest kind of people in the hospital. There was a time when he had gone to get his lines put in. There was a lady, Umana, God bless her, wherever she is. She saw that we were Indians. The next morning, she comes up with a piping hot box of idlis, chutney, and sambar.
Wow.
Because she said, you must be tired of the hospital food. It's so bland. And I can never forget some of those things that happened, some of the people that I met there. Even in those darkest days, I had strangers come out and reach to me and give me a kind of support that was unbelievable.
At times we feel that we are alone and there's nobody around, but God really sends those angels or those people who are around us, and that journey, no matter how difficult it is, somewhere at least get some cushion.
You get a cushion. You feel emotionally very nourished.
Yeah.
In the hardest of times, you feel that you draw strength from that show of support, actually,
absolutely.
right? And that is just remarkable. And probably though meeting those nice people, I would never have met them had this experience not happened to me, right? So you can choose to go down a path where you're wallowing in self-pity. And you can also choose to get yourself out by saying, okay, it happened to me, but there were a lot of nice things that happened as well. And you choose to concentrate on that. And if you choose to concentrate on that, I feel that you handle your loss a lot better, because you say, and at the same time, when you see your child going through the kind of pain that he was going through, you become selfless. You feel that, what, I don't want to see him in pain. And if he doesn't get better, death is actually a release for him. So you also tend to accept things. And I think I had the time frame to accept that he was not going to be around. We tried our best, but we knew what we were going against. And so I think we had done everything that we could for him, and there was nothing more that could be done. So there was an acceptance that came along with it. And that acceptance also was part of all the nice things that we chose to concentrate on instead of the pain that we were going through, not just for the child, but for us as parents. And that also helped us, approach our loss in a different way. And we had also decided that we would not remember the hospitalizations and all the, painful things that happened to him. We would choose to remember the good memories and give him the dignity in death and life that he deserved, because everyone deserves that.
Absolutely.
And so we don't have photographs of him in hospital. We don't have photographs of him in pain or anything of the sort. We've chosen to only remember the good times.
Do you still celebrate his birthday?
We do. We cut a cake on his birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we do. Because, he's not there, but he did touch our lives. And this was something that my kids came up with the idea. They said that, why don't we have not seen him, so we want to celebrate his birthday. So we usually do something. Yeah, we do something. And I've actually written about it on Facebook, and that post actually in one of the food groups got an insane amount of likes, because people actually said that, this is something that we all can do for our loved ones.
Yeah.
And we still do it, even though kids are not living here anymore, but we still do cut a cake in his honor on his birthday.
Something I would really like to know, after losing your child at such a young age, you had 2 children post that.
Mm-hmm.
Were you somewhere worried that, what if they also have cancer or some disease or something like that?
I didn't think on those lines, but the thought, every time they felt sick,
yeah, you were worried.
The anxiety attacks I would have, and my mind would go into an overdrive, and that would get on other people's nerves, because anxiety actually, they would feed off my anxiety, or they would get irritated and said, you're very negative in your approach.
Yeah.
But it does, at those times, it does affect you, right? So those times when the kids felt sick and all, I would not be able to sleep the night. Anyway, insomnia has been a part of my life ever since I lost my son. I don't sleep very well, but it's only in the last 1.5, 2 years that I've paid attention to mindfulness practices before going to bed. So I do get a decent amount of sleep. But before that, I was not even able to sleep. For almost 22 years, I have not slept well. ever since he passed away. So, all those things, those little things, it does affect you. Even now, if I don't hear, and anxiety was a major issue. My husband doesn't pick up a phone call, my mind would go into overdrive. My mom doesn't pick up a phone call, my mind, so it does affect you. It does affect you, but you don't realize it unless you work on it. In hindsight, then you look at it, you look back and you think that, okay, this is what it was. So yeah, I did get worried when kids would fall sick. Even now, if my daughter says, or my daughter and son says, I have a cough and a cold, I have learned to control the thoughts now. Because of the mindfulness practices, I have learned to control the thoughts. Yeah, I have learned to control the thoughts, but at that time, my mind would just go into overdrive.
I also went through a miscarriage between my two daughters. And that, whatever, that was like, yours is 3 years, I was like just 3 months pregnant.
I had a miscarriage too, like I had told you, right? When I was expecting my son, just shortly after that. So I understand how.
So even that, you lost a child, I lost a fetus maybe, that also I couldn't see because whatever the situation, it was flushed out completely. I couldn't even see anything. But the point is those memories, those feelings, those emotions, because when you conceive a baby, I think you become a mother.
Yes.
You
absolutely.
Your hormones and everything, just take you another level, and you just can't forget it. You can't forget.
And also, I think a lot of the times now, when I look back after the first pregnancy, the second time, even before you have the pregnancy test, that you're pregnant. At least I did both of the times after my son was born, after Praveer, when 𝗬𝗏 and 𝗧𝗵𝗲 were born. I knew I was pregnant even before I had the pregnancy test. So, like you said, that's all boils down to that fact that, we become a mother just when we conceive. So I strongly agree. That thought resonates a lot with me.
No, I had become very anxious after that, though I had my elder one in my arms really at that point of time, but still because of that miscarriage, that or maybe the hormones had reached a certain level that I was into that space that I want to become pregnant again. I want a baby. So even after the miscarriage, that every month I used to wait. This month
I totally get you.
So it's like it's not easy.
It's not easy. It takes an emotional toll on you. It's not just the physical aspect of the loss, because your body is also recuperating, but it's also the emotional aspect along with it, and the thought that what might have been, right? That wears on your mind.
Absolutely, absolutely it does. But moving on, you also faced very early hysterectomy. What had happened? Like, you were 35 or 40?
No, I had touched 40. I had just touched 40. And I was going to touch, this was in 2011. I had touched 40. And what happened was that I always had very smooth periods, except for the waist pain down. And after the children, the period was actually very smooth. I did not have much of an issue other than, 2 days of bleeding, just 2 days of bleeding. And by third day, I was, not having any issues at all. Suddenly, I noticed my periods getting heavier. And then one cycle, I noticed blood clots. I thought maybe it's just, something off with my body. And I waited the next month and I saw blood clots again. So then I said, okay, this pain is not normal. I would actually cry in pain. The pain, the stomach ache would be so bad that it was not normal. So 2 months into it, I went to the doctor, and they did a battery of tests, and they said that there's a fibroid and it's pretty huge. And since I had already had 2 children, they said, if you don't want to have any more kids, the best option is to take the uterus out. So I had my uterus taken out. And there weren't many complications, but I think there are other complications that come with a hysterectomy in terms of, some things that I started notice post hysterectomy was that, I started having gut issues.
Okay.
So, IBS and things like that. I had started having gut issues.
So in a way, your menopause came then?
My menopause came then, but the ovaries had not been taken out.
All right.
So I was not on hormone replacement treatment. I did have mood, anxiety and panic increased a bit, and that must have been because the ovaries, I still had the ovaries.
Of course.
The hot flashes were there. Then you
I've
had
just experienced it. So
yes, and then you had issues like brain fog. I felt like I was forgetting things. I was losing it. सामान यहाँ रखती हूँ फिर मिलता नहीं है. I go into a panic mode and I ransack the house and bring it down till I find that Sam, only to find that it's in my bag. Those kinds of the brain fog moments. Then your anxiety hits a
this
peak.
is, I think only women can understand.
Only women can understand, exactly. And anger. I mean, you're not able to control your thoughts.
Yeah,
then you're not able to sleep. Yeah, you just explode.
Yeah, we explode.
You explode.
Yeah.
And so many other issues that manifested post the hysterectomy. And and then people are like, why are you so angry all the time and things like that. And you don't realize you're angry. You just think, people are not understanding me. You feel misunderstood. You feel isolated, actually, because even though you have a circle of people around you, you feel isolated because you're not understood. They're not understanding your pain. They're not understanding what is going on. And you yourself are not able to understand. So how are you going to explain it to others? So this was something post-hysterectomy that I noticed. And I started distracting myself by doing a few things like volunteering, writing, getting involved in meeting book club, going to book clubs, joining book clubs. And I made a nice circle of women around me.
Oh, nice.
And my husband was also not living in town at that time. So I was with the kids alone, and he would come every weekend or every other weekend to visit. So it was quite a tough tough phase in my life.
Of course.
Because it was
it all alone.
Yeah, handling it all alone. And then the other thing is that you don't tell your husband half the things because you don't want to worry him. And by the time they come, the kids are already okay. So you say, might as well handle it. The paradox is you're not at your emotional best. At the same time, you become emotionally independent, which is actually very paradoxical, but you also grow in strength emotionally. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you felt it, but
I can relate.
You can relate to it. It's hard to explain. It's a paradox,
but it is.
You still manage to handle things on your own, and because of that, you become emotionally stronger. And you realize later on, 10 years later, oh my, I handled that alone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and all that, I think, sort of does impact your physical health also.
It does. I'm a single mother, single parent, so handling alone things is what I can really understand. It is not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
It takes a toll, but I think your kids only give you the courage. I think they become a little bit more.
Yeah, my kids were really, and my kids were. I mean, now I've scolded them a lot. God help me, I've scolded them a lot, even when they did not need to be scolded.
Really?
Yes, and they bore the brunt, and they were a huge support. Like if I was not well, they would make sure that I got the rest and things like that. They didn't.
They do.
They really did care. They had a tender, loving side to them that came out when I was. So yeah, handling it was difficult, but I think it also made me stronger emotionally.
Yeah,
and it made me a more confident person, I guess. So I kind of. I'm glad I went through those phases because it shaped the woman that I am today.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So everything defines us.
Every experience defines us.
We were not like this. About 20 years back.
Even 15 years back, 10 years back, if someone told me I would be coming and talking on a podcast, talking to you, or talking publicly, because I've never been a public speaker. So all these aspects, they're all part of that experiences that I've undergone.
1 year back, I didn't even know I'm going to host a podcast.
See, and now here you are, and you had quite a few guests on it too.
So it's like that. You don't know. Life just, I think, makes you walk a certain path, and you just take a leap then.
And organically, you do the things that you're meant to do.
Yeah.
It all happens organically. Sometimes you don't even need to seek it.
Absolutely.
So that's
this journey is actually so organic. So I know what you're saying. It's like and I think it's good. If you kind of follow the path which life is showing you, I think there is beauty in that.
There is beauty in that. Yeah, there is a lot of.
There's a mystery, but it's like
there's pain, but there's also strength from the pain.
It is.
Yeah,
there is.
And in hindsight, you start laughing. why was he even worried about those things? Those are also inconsequential in the bigger meaning of life.
Look back and
in
retrospect, it's not something at that point of time. It was like the biggest thing.
It was so inconsequential at that time. It meant so much to you, but it really,
Yeah, the days were difficult to pass, and the moments were difficult to pass. But now you look back, I think you were.
Oh yeah, now I'm here. I'm a better person for it.
Become wiser.
Become wiser. Yes, absolutely.
But as you grow wiser, I think, as you had said that, bullying is something that, you mentioned about it. Normally we talk about when kids go to college or, maybe in school, this happens more. But what I've not heard of or people have not spoken about is bullying happens at the age of 40 or 50 also.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is that it starts off very subtly. Okay? And then it becomes more and more pronounced because you are different.
Yeah.
You don't do the things that they do. And then you're singled out. And then you don't go to, and you prioritize sometimes your child is in a grade where he is in a board grade. They have a tough exam, right? And you have an event to go to. And you choose your child over the event.
Of course.
And that does not go wisely with them, and people start saying things like, "Hamare bhi to bacche hain." You could have come for a small time. People have come from far away.
Yeah.
And it kept building up. I didn't realize it until one point in time when I realized that being in that group, I was not liking the version of myself that I was when I was with that group. It was not me. And I've always been surrounded by a very supportive group of friends. And I have been very, like-minded friends. And I've always had people who love me for the person that I am and never wanted me to be something different from who I was. So this whole, now when I look back and I think about all the things that happened, there were good people in the group as well, but there were one or two people who were, subtly gaslighting me.
Oh my God.
Right? So I decided that I got out of the group. I was in a very bad mental shape. And had it not been for my close set of friends and my husband was not here, and I had not told him because I didn't want him to worry about how I was in. My health, Pushpa Didi, my friends, they are the ones who pulled me out of that low phase in my life. Literally, I'm telling you, I had never experienced that kind of hate in my life. And it was very subtle. It was very, very sharp. Like others would not perceive it as bullying. You know how people are very smart?
Yeah.
But because you are facing it over a period of time, you get all the pieces together and you realize that, this is not right. But that experience also taught me to respect my boundaries.
Yeah.
So now when I don't vibe with someone, I don't even try to be nice to them or be accommodative.
These situations teach us.
I was very accommodating with them. And I now realize that I am still friends with some people in that group, but there are 3 that I have cut off from my life because it's good for my mental peace. And
we can choose our own friends.
We can choose our own friends.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
They can't be forced on us.
Exactly. And I'm in touch with quite a few others. And I'm nice to them. I will talk to them. I'll be nice to them. But the amount of havoc that particular incident wreaked with my mental health has taught me to guard my boundaries and to be around people who I know resonate with my values, who resonate with my point of view, and who are nice at the core. There were nice people in the core, at the core there too. I'm not singling them out or something.
Something is not only at individual friends group, even in offices.
Exactly.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Exactly.
We have to learn.
Exactly.
To respect who we are.
Yes.
And set our own boundaries.
Yes.
It's very important.
And I'm okay being the weird one. If people call me weird, I'm okay being the weird one. It's okay. That's how I am. You perceive me to be weird, it's your issue.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. Exactly. I am as I am. If I don't want to drink, I'm not going to drink. You cannot force me to drink.
Of course.
I'm not asking you to stop drinking.
Yeah.
It's a choice. I'm not asking you to stop drinking.
Yeah.
don't expect me to start drinking or just attending parties, leaving my kids at home just because you expect me to. In friendship, there are no expectations, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Friendship with expectations is not friendship. So friendship comes without expectations.
And at least it comes with is more love and understanding and care and concern, you know. That's what it comes with.
Yes.
Can't come with force.
It can't come with force. I cannot force myself to like a person I don't like. I move away.
Anybody for that matter.
Yeah, I move away. Yeah, exactly. So
good life taught you.
Yes.
But they've been very good friends also in your life. It's not only about those friends.
I'm blessed.
I think your writing career also started with a friend. Also.
Yes. So actually, you know, I have friends who always. So the teachers always told my mom that I was very creative and I was very original in my writing whenever I wrote. But I did not seriously, you know, we're so busy doing homework and going out and playing because I was a tomboy, so I love to go out and play. I never paid attention to writing. Whatever writing I did was part of the English literature class or the English grammar class, whatever, right? It so happened that I think once Facebook came into existence and I became part of Facebook, interacting with friends and all that, it really honed my writing skills. And I must also go back to my days in college when I was doing my master's in US. The professors told me that you write very well and you convey your thoughts in few sentences in such a succinct way. So I have written for my professors and edited some of their journals and papers and things like that. So I've kind of, so I knew that somewhere in me that there's a writer in me. But I think when Facebook came into existence and I started, the more I wrote, the better I got at it. And then I think, and then also people like when we meet and we talk and all, people also like my view on parenting or anything like that. So I have a few friends, like for example, Kanika asked me to do the content writing for her. And once I got onto that content writing, I think it got me a lot of visibility. And then I started getting more and more confident about my writing. And I started, people started contacting me to write for them. Like 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗶, who's in Gurgaon mom, she saw some response of mine and she asked me to write about my experience on grief. And then she asked me to write about, my experience as a parent of a child with focus issues. Those got published in Gurgaon mom's newsletter. And then I have other friends like Vidya, who asked me to write for a portal that actually deals with problems for people between the ages of 40 and 60. It's called Not So Silver Years. And, age-specific issues like bonding, how the husband and wife bond after the kids leave. Because up until then, your life is only about children. Once the children come into focus.
Yeah, we're going to talk about an empty nest.
Yeah, empty nest, right? So she asked me, so I wrote that got a lot of traction. And then making friends in my 40s and 60s after I came to Gurgaon. That article resonated with a lot of people. And then last year, out of the blue, my daughter's friend called her up and said, would your mom have any recipes of pickles from Karnataka? And my daughter said, sure, I'll ask her. And I just typed out a recipe and I sent it to my daughter. My daughter edited it and sent it to the friend. Next thing, I thought it was just for like a research project, research project as part of a anthropology study or some kind of a study. I didn't think that it would be for, I didn't think it would be for a book. And next thing I know, she sends a picture with a photo of, Suti's friend sends her a picture with a photo of my recipe and says, your mom's recipe has been published in the book. And I look at the book and I'm like, literally my jaw dropped because it was a food historian, Sadaf Hussain.
Yeah.
In his book, Masala Bandi, with due credit, my recipe has been published. And it was a high, and to see the writer in me was insanely happy.
I can imagine that.
But the inner chef was happier still to get a recipe from my part of the world, get into a book of that caliber where people like Vikas Khanna and all have contributed. So that was like literally a big high for me.
I can
imagine. And then Gurgaon Moms too had a post where they were asking recipes from, heirloom recipes from their kitchens. And I wrote about a recipe that was, again, this very dear to the Madhva community. It's called 𝗓𝗃𝗏.
It's called?
𝗓𝗃𝗏.
Okay.
And I wove a story around it. And I had a notion, because I was happy with what I had written, and I had a notion that it would get selected.
Okay.
But I did not send in the recipe. And my friend...
So you just sent the story to them around it?
Yes.
Okay.
𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗵 then reminds me, just as I was about to leave for America in a few hours, that you've not yet submitted your recipe, please submit it right away. So then I went into an overdrive and I wrote the recipe and I submitted it. And next thing I know, I've been shortlisted.
Wow.
Next thing I know, it's been published.
Wow.
And that was another high, because you cannot compare it to the first book, because the first book was an effort of various chefs and Sadaf Hussain himself.
Yeah.
And this was being in a book along with friends I knew. A collaborative effort of Gurgaon moms, where...
But your name printed, your recipe printed.
Yes, and the entire story of why it's dear to me.
Yeah.
And then to see my recipe printed in Sadaf Hussein's book. And then, and the front, the foreword is by 𝗶𝗄𝗃, and it's like, oh my God, I have arrived, sort of like, that feeling.
Yes, of course you have.
That it was a total high that I guess I still have to come down from. And since that time, I left. And
it's just the beginning. You must.
It's just the beginning, and I think I've been doing so many things out of my comfort zone this year, and it's all thanks to all the push by my friends, by Kanika for hosting me on that show, and my dear friends, from Gurgaon, Manisha, Jayanti, Vidya, Sapna, Sonali, and so many others that I cannot name, but who have been there as part of my inner circle for so many years. So it's all thanks to their blessings also, I think, their well wishes.
One cannot do anything in the life without friends. In my life also, friends have played such a strong role. I wouldn't be here without their support and encouragement.
Exactly. Because on a day-to-day basis, your family is not around. It's your friends that are around.
Yeah, absolutely. They stand by you no matter what.
And not just physically, but even emotionally, right? A lot of the things you can't tell your family because you don't want them to worry about you.
Yeah, that's true. That's what happens actually. That's why you.
So it's easier to talk to a friend about something than it is to
because
your
that's
family.
A space I think you're not judged. They take
not judged, and they don't worry. They know that you'll handle it, and they're there to see you. So they're not worrying as much as a family which is staying far. The family is staying far away, and they don't believe what you say because they say, "I'm not seeing it for myself," right? So a lot of the things my parents my mom has no idea about the bullying and things like that, because I haven't told her. My husband also only later, my friend told him about the bullying and things like that. That's when he came to know the extent of what actually, how they may have thought it's a very small thing to do.
Yeah.
And they may be right, but for me, it really wreaked havoc with my mental health. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You can't understand the pain one person goes through. You're actually in the situation, in the same mindset.
It took me 6 months to get out of it. And my friend got me into a meditation program. And it was almost 6 months of that from starting the meditation program.
So it was a very
it shook me very badly, because no friends had ever treated me like that, ever. So that bothered me a lot. So in between, now I can talk about it without anger and emotion, But there was a time when even thinking about them would wreak havoc with, till recently actually, so.
Now we can see the difference.
Yeah, I'm talking about it without, any emotions. Yeah,
absolutely.
But it all happened for my good, for my self-development.
Growth,
for my own personal growth.
Yeah.
And it was meant to happen, I guess. So I have no ill will towards whoever did this, but they're out of my life for good.
Good. We don't want people like that to be around us.
Yes. Yeah.
But apart from all this work, the writing work you're doing, you're also volunteering in RD's.
I used to volunteer. I used to volunteer. I have written. I have done content work for SOS Children's Villages. I've written content for them in terms of the village reports and the student reports that they send out to their sponsors. And that started. Then after that, my cousin roped me in to teach the wives of Jawans conversational English in Delhi cantonment. So these Jawans were posted as the president's bodyguards. And I taught for 3 years. I taught English to them for 3 years, and that was another humbling experience, because the sacrifices that they make towards their country and for safeguarding us, it had to be seen to be believed.
Now, sometimes I feel it's not the Jawans or the soldiers for that matter.
Their families too. The families
nobody
too.
exactly talks about them.
No, and I've seen the kind of support they have from the officers also. I've seen my cousin's wife know everything, every little thing about what was going on in the lives of the Jawans and their families. And that support system was really heartening to see for me. But what is not talked about is the sacrifices that the families make.
In our society, we had this Independence Day celebration, and when Independence Day comes, we really talk about people like Bhagat Singh and all. But one lady got up and sang a song which I didn't know was apparently written on Bhagat Singh's fiancé.
Oh.
Written on her, the strength that she has shown, and all her life she didn't marry after his death. She didn't get married. They were not married. She was just a fiancé. And post that, she never married all her life. She devoted it like being a widow of Bhagat Singh. That song was around her, and I was like amazed. We talk about Bhagat Singh like I'm a big fan of him. And what about his family?
Exactly. Exactly.
Your child is such a young age, and
it's not easy.
It's not easy, and the family is what actually shows their greatest strength than the person themselves, because they're gone. People who are living without them is who are the ones who are suffering actually.
Exactly. That's exactly true, because what happens is that, and then one thinks that, okay, they were not married, no big deal. But imagine the love is still there. And the support that she would have got, she would still be with her parents. And she's lost the one person that she was supposed to spend the rest of her life with. So it's so much harder on her as well. And the pain, nobody pays attention to the sacrifices that a lot of these people make.
So soldier is not alone. He's carrying a
family with entire village with him at times. An entire village with him actually.
Sometimes, yes.
So, and there are times when
family khatam ho gayi hai. That's what happens when any soldier loses his life.
So that
is much more.
So that was a very exciting experience. After that, I took a break for a little while because my daughter was getting into the higher grades, so I wanted to concentrate on her and then my son. So, but after my daughter got into college, I again came into my own. And started.
Mothers, actually, our lives are around the milestone our kids achieve. That's how we start. Our work is also moving around like that.
Yes, and then I think the one big thing that happened to me that I will always be indebted to Ksanitka for was getting on that show, The Voice of Silence, as a speaker. Because from that point on, I started coming into my own the way I was in my college days. Okay, the way I was in my college days is the person you see in front of you now, right? So I processed my grief objectively after over 20 years. And I was processing it as an outsider. So it helped me heal in more ways than one. While Kanika thought my coming on that talk would actually help other moms heal.
Yes.
It helps me heal a lot more.
It happens. When you talk about it, you're healing yourself.
I'm healing myself. And I looked at it from a very objective point of view. And even now, you see, when I talk about my grief, I'm not in tears or emotions are not overwhelming me.
I was scared. I thought probably you'll cry when I
No. I have come to a point of acceptance that we did everything in our
capacity.
And the rest of it is in God's hands.
Yeah. We can't.
And it's not in my control.
Everything is not in our hands.
And if I don't accept it, I'm going to live a life that is not a happy life.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's not good for my children or my husband.
You have
it's not if I'm always
take care of.
I have 2 other kids to take care of.
Yeah.
And they know everything about him. They know everything about Praveer. We have not, hidden this fact from them. We have Praveer's pictures on the wall, and we've talked about Praveer extensively, and they're also interested in knowing about him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, they also count him as a family member, even though they've not seen him, and they have written notes to him at points in time where, I wish I had known you. I've heard so much about you from Mama and Appa. So those are the things that kind of, make you feel happy that we still keep him in our memories in a happy way. We don't think about him with sadness. And that is very important for him as well. Because, he's remembered, but in a happy way. So we're very happy about that.
These days, I think a lot of groups, especially women-oriented groups, are coming forward and talking about empty nesters. पहले ऐसा नहीं होता था, आजकल actually our children are going overseas, or probably they are living away from the parents. So parents are going after a certain age, they are actually living alone.
Yes.
So that's what your life stage is also all about.
Yes.
How do you think is impacting people all around, and how you kind of handled it?
So I had mentally prepared myself for it. And I'm loving this phase in my life. I will not lie.
Oh, wonderful,
I'm very happy because my kids are adulting.
Yeah.
And living alone and handling a lot of things that we as parents are very proud of. Our parents let us go. In the same way, we must let them go too.
Of course.
And, there are their dreams that they want to fulfill.
True.
You do your best in trying to lead a life by example and hope that they imbibe your values. They hope that they imbibe your qualities. You set them in a path at a very young age by shaping their value systems and all. But once they go into school, into the higher classes and all, there are a lot of other external factors and all that come into play, right?
True.
So the first few years are very important to inculcate the values. And I did everything I could with them. We invested heavily on books, my husband and I. Books was something we really invested on.
Books are man's best friend.
Yes. So my kids had they were early readers too. They were very early readers.
They change life. If you read, you learn a lot.
And the kind of books my kids read shaped the human beings that they are today.
I'm sure.
And a lot of other, things also, that when you don't have that regret that you haven't done much for your children, when you don't have that regret that you haven't done for the children, you also have the ability to let them go.
Yeah.
मैंने सब कुछ किया है. Now it's up to them to lead a life.
Your own parenting, or the way you brought them up. You're confident.
So I'm confident. My daughter knew that she did not want to go abroad for her studies in her 12th grade. So she decided to study in India. And she went there for her master's. My son got into Ashoka in India too, but he said, no, I want to go abroad. He was 19 years old. He was 18 years old.
Okay.
And he said, I want to go because if I'm here, I'm not going to become independent. I want to go abroad and I want to live a life by myself without having help from parents. And he decided to go. And he's very happy. So I've seen both ends of, where a child is left in, gone abroad in her master's, and a son who's gone abroad when he was after his 12th.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, when I look back, I think they've grown in the 3 years and the 5 years that 5 years that my daughter left home and 3 years that my son left home. They've grown as people.
Of course.
And the kind of things that they're doing makes me very proud of them. But more than that, the kind of human beings that they are, I'm very proud of them. And that could only happen because we let them follow their dreams.
Yeah. It's important.
And it's important. And I think take this time as an opportunity for self-growth.
Yeah.
Do the things that you've been putting off. My husband spends his time nicely reading books that he missed out while he was in his college days. He's trying to learn shlokas, he's trying to do things. So we had mentally decided that while we were sad to let them go,
Yeah.
but we were also happy that they're doing things that they want.
Yeah.
And they're also happy, the kids are also happy that we are comfortable being empty nesters and we are doing things that we love. And they're happy for our, to see us evolve as
That's
these
how it should be. That's
kinds
how
of
it should
parents
be.
now who
Yeah.
have conversations with kids without judging them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, and they're also not, we went on a holiday with the kids to Sri Lanka this summer. And this was our first holiday as a family with all of them living independent lives. And it was the most wholesome time we spent together and the kind of conversations we had and all. That made me appreciate the time we spent with them at the 4 months. But it also made me appreciate the phase when they moved out of the house, because we all began to appreciate each other more.
It happens when you stay away from each other. I think you start valuing each other more, understanding each other more.
And we don't want to get into this, kalesh hona, ye hona, or this sort. We all are on our best behavior, and we all respect each other's opinions, and without actually fighting or having an argument. So it was a very wholesome time.
Now it's like grown-up adults, having conversations.
Yes. As grown-up adult friends, almost like that. So it was kind of. So look at empty nest as a phase in your life where you grow.
Yeah.
Don't look at it as, what am I going to do without your kids? Because you're a lot more than just being a mom or a dad or a mom or a dad.
Yeah. Not the right thing to be.
You are just more than just being a parent of your child.
Yeah. I know, absolutely. You're much more than that.
That's not just your core identity. So this is the time for
to kind of
discover yourself and fall in love with yourself, to be honest.
True, absolutely. This is so true. This is so beautiful, actually. Fall in love with yourself.
Yeah. So that's what I think. And my husband and I are loving this phase in our life.
Beautiful.
There are times when we miss the kids on festival days and birthdays and things like that. But for the most part, we handle it okay. Especially when they're sick, you want to be there. That's the hardest part. But you handle it fine. Yeah.
You also had some experience about fitness. Love Food and Fitness has to talk about fitness also. So why don't you share that?
So I let myself go. Once the kids were, with the move to India and things like that, I let myself go. So I had the hysterectomy. And after that, again, I let myself go. I was so consumed with my kids and their activities and just my friend circle and things like that, that I didn't really pay attention to my health or my diet or my fitness. And then I had a rude awakening in December 2019 when I went for my health checkup, and my HbA1c levels were hitting the roof. I mean, they were really bad.
Okay.
So then that's when I realized that I need to start paying attention to my fitness. And there was also a lot of stress at that time because we'd lost a family member. And my daughter was in the 12th. So stress also. And the doctor felt that it was more the stress than my diet that was impacting. And so I decided.
Stress plays havoc.
Yeah.
That really affects our.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when I decided that, okay, enough is enough. Let me start paying attention to my fitness and my diet. And I started, and then COVID started. So I started walking in the hallway in the house. I would walk 2 to 3 kilometers in the house.
In the house itself?
In the house itself.
Wow.
Because we were not allowed to step out of the house. Yeah.
I think everybody was at that point of time.
So my husband had got me a fitness watch for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So it has monthly challenges. There was a monthly challenge of walking 242 kilometers that month. And I did that for 4 days before the challenge ended by walking in the hallway and the balcony.
Wow.
And that's when I realized that it's all in the mind.
It is.
Then I started walking. I started exercising regularly, And I did so quite diligently until this year, where again I've gone lax and I'm not walking as much. And like I told you, we went to Sri Lanka. I had a rude wake-up call there. There was a small mountain, and I was puffing my way up the mountain, because I had just also recovered, probably because I'd also recovered from, I was still recovering from a urinary tract infection. I had the E. coli. Yes, so probably that was also playing havoc. So and then suddenly there was this family trip that was planned to go to Kedarnath and Badrinath, and I was mentally just scared. In Sri Lanka, I had a tough time climbing the mountain. How am I going to handle these mountains? Anyway, I didn't even do much walking or anything, but I think I instead worked on my mind. I said, mentally, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to handle it. And as luck would have it, we didn't get the helicopter tickets. I walked part of the way, but I did most of it by palki. But on the way back from Kedarnath, the palki guy had a health issue. And I said, I'm not going to sit at the palki anymore. We were about 4.5 kilometers away from
the temple.
Back. I'd already gone to the temple. From coming down, I said, I'm going to walk it down. And I walked down without any problem. And the next day, in those mountains, I slept well that night, and without any issues, I walked and climbed stairs and things like that, and had no issues. And even in Badri and Kedar was much easier, because my body had also got attuned to it. So I didn't feel the need to take the Dimox, which helps you acclimatize to low oxygen places where there is low oxygen level. And I was able to walk, and I came back in one piece. So apart from fitness itself, it's also your mental strength is what I realized that helps you achieve a lot of things that you think you would not have done. True. Never did I ever think that I would go to Kedarnath. I mean, Badri to socha tha. Kedarnath to it's like it seems insurmountable. Yeah, it seems insurmountable. Yeah. But while I used Paki for some of the way, but I still managed to handle the 1.5 hours, 2 hours, and coming back the same day, climbing and coming back the same day. Yeah. So while it's not a big deal, because a lot of people actually climb it, but for a person of my health, that was a big deal. That was a very big deal. Yeah. And so I've realized that I need to have, and I'm also getting the signs now that my sugar levels may be increasing. Yeah. So I need to start paying attention to my diet again, and go on a reset mode and work on my gut health and things like that. But I know that fitness is it's like a journey. It's not a destination, right? It's a destination. It's not one event, it's not one event. And you're going to be thrown off track quite a few times. Yeah, absolutely. But you always come back. Yeah. So what happens is, in hindsight, when you pay attention to all these signs and you are mindful, your body starts seeing signs. Yeah. And you start paying attention. You say, okay, kal ho jayega. You postpone, but you always come back on track. So after coming on the show, I hope that I again go back to my fitness journey. Going back properly onto my fitness journey again. Resume it again. Yeah.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Okay, I really feel like asking you, because someone listening right now to the show might be in their own darkness. You've kind of challenged many moments of darkness. Maybe they've lost a child. Maybe they're dealing with some bullying out there. Maybe they're dealing with some illness out there. Mm-hmm. Maybe someone is not knowing how to fight back. Would you one message want to give it to them? Want them to know. Because you've said yes to life over and over again, apart from the problems that you faced, you've said, come on, I'll come back. I'll give you a great recipe. I'll give you a good article, but I'll come back. So what's the message you'd like to give?
I think I've always been an optimist, an eternal optimist. Probably mentally strong too, because I came from a very emotionally nourished and wanted childhood, right? Where I was a late child, and everyone wanted a girl, and when the girl arrived, they were extremely happy. My brothers, my parents, everyone was happy. I did have issues where I have my dark days, but I always bounce back. It's not that it's like I'm always happy and I'm always smiling and this is the persona you're seeing all the time.
That doesn't happen to anybody. No, this Instagram age.
If they are, then they're faking it.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, absolutely, they're faking it.
Huh.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen all the
You have
time.
to have the highs and the lows. It's always like a tide.
And I'm not afraid to talk about my vulnerabilities. I'm not afraid to talk about my emotions. I'm not afraid to write about them. What has helped me tremendously is a faith in God.
Yeah.
An unwavering faith in God.
Yeah. Trust the Almighty.
Yes. If you don't believe in God or you're an atheist, find some hobby that gives you peace. It could be singing. It could be writing. Go to the doctor. Take therapy. Take medication if you have to. It's not bad.
I think just have a lot of friends.
And I think that's the best therapy there is. I know. Better than even retail therapy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's the best. Find like-minded friends. And I'm very blessed to be surrounded by many of them, not just in Gurgaon, but in other parts of the world too, right? So, and we're still in touch, thanks to Facebook, thanks to social media, thanks to WhatsApp. And have a good friend circle. Do something for yourself every day. If it's taking that walk for half an hour or listening to music or just writing or just spending your time in silence in a room.
Yeah.
Mindfulness practice is again that thing that helps tremendously. Be, doing a little bit of meditation, being mindful, me time, meditating, deep breathing. There are lots of apps out there these days that you can do. For example, Insight Timer, that's what I do for my mindfulness practice. It helps. It helps tremendously to not just be happy all the time or just be happy when you're in your darkest phases. It gives you an equanimity, a sense of equanimity and a balance where you are the same whether things go right for you or things don't go wrong for you.
Technology is giving a lot of solutions also.
Yes.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Now, since we are in a light-hearted mood now, let's start with a signature rapid fire round that we have.
Okay.
So, first
I feel like I'm on KJO show.
The first answer that pops your mind. We won't allow you to think a lot. While we've spoken about the languages that you know, so Kannada, Telugu or Tamil, which language do you dream in?
Kannada, my mother tongue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Your comfort food when life gets tough?
Dal chawal and dahi chawal.
I know. They are, I think, for me also, they're like the best food ever.
Without a doubt, with achar.
With achar.
Yeah.
Cooking or writing, which gives you immense happiness?
Can't choose.
Can't choose?
Can't choose.
Both of them give you a lot of happiness?
Yes.
In
their own spheres.
Yeah.
Maybe writing about cooking gives me most happiness.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, worst thing about being an empty nester? Or probably best thing about being an empty nester? I think I should change the question now.
The best thing about being an empty nester is not having to wake up early to get the kids to school. But I still get up at 6 o'clock.
And I think our body clock has actually been set there.
The worst thing about being an empty nester is making things that your child likes and not having them around to eat it.
Yeah.
Or, even things like, okay, I need to buy makeup, or I need to buy accessories. So my son helps pick my accessories. My daughter helps pick my makeup. And my daughter makes me, be a better person. And even Shrey, because they're so evolved in some ways that you miss that.
You do. I know. I can completely understand.
Especially when you're low and you say, okay, I need to talk to my daughter today, or I need to talk to my son today. And with each, it's a different thing. You talk to
both of them will have a different
relationship. Yes. So that is what I miss, having them around when I cook something good and when I'm low. That's when I miss them the most.
If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who?
Praveer and my dad. Two people, Praveer and my dad.
Praveen definitely I thought will be part of it.
Praveer and my dad. Yeah. They are the two people who made me a better human being. So these two, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Now, if you can just sing a few lines.
I cannot sing for the life of me.
Hum a few lines. Or probably just speak.
We were talking about what kept me hum.
Bollywood song.
It's a 𝗏𝗃𝗃 𝗀𝗃𝗃 आशा.
Masti bhare man.
Masti man ke ban ki mohli si आशा. I like that song a lot. It resonates with my value system and my thoughts. Because there's the little things in life that give you pleasure. A good meal.
Yeah.
A good book. A walk.
Yeah.
Watching the sunset. Watching your plants grow.
Yeah.
I
think हम लोग बात करते रहते हैं बड़ी achievements की, but always the small things.
The small things give you the pleasure.
Small achievements give us immense happiness.
For me, you know, the defining moment that I really loved was in Sri Lanka when my kids egged me on to climb. Itna hi 5 ही minute hai, mummy, aa jao. You will not regret it. So I waited for about half an hour to crest there. My husband was with me, and then we climbed up, and sahi mein view kamal ka tha. So these are the things, you know, the little pleasures in life. A view, a sunset, eating good food. The simple pleasures in life.
Having a cup of chai with a friend. Having
a cup of chai with a friend tops the deal.
I think we had a wonderful conversation.
I am very happy. I think I was feeling a little nervous, but I think I'm happy.
The beautiful journey. You've had the ups and downs, but you've come out so beautiful. I think the sari, the outfit, everything is showing that life is beautiful.
Yes. And I think even the worst things happen for a reason.
Yeah,
and they are all part, they happen to give you a life lesson.
Yeah.
So if it happens, accept it. Accept it.
That's the most important thing. Accept it.
Yes.
Beautiful. So it was very nice today to have.
And thank you for having me on it.
No, it's been my pleasure completely. And you know, she doesn't Instagram filter her life. She says she's been into trouble. She's been to the dark zone. Life has not been very fair at times to her. But amazing part is that she will come up with saying, try my recipe. I've written such a great article. So, you know, take life as it comes. You won't regret it. And the real resilience that you have shown, you know, in life situations is really beautiful. And I hope somewhere someone listening to it today might get that strength from you today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
adding my favorite lines based on your life today, whatever it felt like in the morning was कि हंसते गाते जहाँ से गुजर दुनिया की तू परवाह न कर मुस्कुराते हुए दिन बिताना यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना
जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना. I love that song.
And उसके बाद Yoodly
yodeling by 𝗂𝗃𝗃. Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to us today. If Deepa's story touched you, share this episode because somewhere someone in their life around you would be needing to hear something positive. And they would probably realize that it's possible to survive even in the unsurvivable moments that we feel at times. That you can lose everything and still find reasons to wear those beautiful handloom sarees that she's wearing today, cook with love, and show up for other people who love you more. Until next time, keep the chai hot and the conversations on. Lots of love. This is Archana signing off and see you soon. Lots of love.